What I want to do here is give you an example of an item analysis because we will just be looking at one thing, but in the abstract to begin with. So a generic analysis looks at a collection of instances to attempt to form a typical example of it, but an item analysis just will ponder, think about, try to dissect and examine one one person, one event, one text. In this case, I'm going to look at a question uh, that's a habit for some people. That's speeding. Okay, now why do people speed? Now, if you're going to analyze this, you might want to provide a quick definition of speeding, but everyone understands that, so we may as well just assume that as a given. But the obvious place to start here would be to talk about the need to get somewhere um, faster than you perceive yourself to be getting there now. The concern of being on time, people. So that might be where you start. But when you think about it, most people are not going to go 150 miles an hour, even if their car can do that. In the highway or through residential areas, especially. Usually, people speed and get frustrated when they're behind when they're going at a usual clip they like to go at. It might be 10 or 15 miles over, and then when they get behind somebody, they don't want to be behind someone. They want to pass and go, and so it may have something to do with the way the brain is operating for certain people. It may be that when we are able to do a certain activity at a certain speed that is unique to us, and we are forced to slow down that speed because of the sign or because of the slow car in front of us, we are also then forced to break what we're thinking about and to concentrate on this physical activity that we're so used to doing. We can do this without fully concentrating on it, but when our habitual pace of cognition for that event is slowed down, it's annoying, it's frustrating, and so you pass the car and then you stop at a stoplight and you lose whatever distance you got. So I know it's not about getting somewhere faster or going through distance faster, because you lose the distance when you come to a stoplight. You passed this car a minute ago, and then you're at the stoplight, and the car's behind you, and you're at the same point now. Both of you are even, so it's not a race. It doesn't have that. So when we analyze this, we realize we can do away with this idea of a race factor or got to get there faster factor, because on an average, you really don't get there faster, especially if you're doing this through a residential area. I think it has more to do with the way our minds process the phenomenon, the activity that we do, and the habitual sort of mind habits that we get into. And when they're slowed down, they make us concentrate on things we don't feel like we should be concentrating on because we have so much mental energy, and we want to dedicate it to something else. And we know that if you just give us the chance to do this activity as we are used to doing it, we can really just dedicate a very small amount of mental energy to this and to do it right, and then we can use our mind for other things while we do it. And it's very frustrating, as it would be to try to listen to this video in slow motion, to have to be behind a car that is making you drive at a pace that for you is slower than you usually would go. So I believe that with this analysis, I could provide this as a possible explanation for this habit of speeding. Why does someone speed? The answer to the question, why does someone speed? All I need to do is show that it's a possible explanation, that it moves beyond the obvious, and if I can start making it sound like it's even a probable explanation, then my analysis has become that much better.